Can y'all hear me? I'm gonna start all over. Hey y'all, hey, I was muted. I just yes, I got it. I looked down and was like, oh, we have a little symbol here that was like, no, you are yeah, I am muted. So how y'all doing? I was saying that it's a beautiful Tuesday afternoon. It is a whopping 108 degrees here in Arizona, and it is absolutely beautiful, but it is hot. And I was telling you guys in the last live that typically around this time, it's not this hot, not 108 or whatever. It's kind of cooling down to 102, 105, that type of thing, but not 108. And we've been having heat advisories for the past week or so. And so it's just been kind of weird that that we're getting those advisories here going into the fall, because that's our fall, 102, 105, that type of thing. And we had a considerably mild winter this year. So we didn't get a lot of 120 days. We did get some teens, 100 and teen something or whatever, but it's just, you know, it is what it is. So like I said, before we get into the topic, I want to welcome more of you in before we go on. I hope you guys are having a great day. You know, we have a lot that we're going on and going through in America. So, you know, we just have to make sure that we stay focused. We have to make sure that we delete this, block this user, and that we go on and have a good day. So yeah. So what's going on? Before I do, let's do our shout outs, and then I'll let y'all know what I've been up to. So here we go. Just me. Good evening. Hey, Royalty Queen, she's here. Hey, Royalty, good to see you. Yes, no sound. Coach Central, you are muted. I know. Thank you. Got it now. Yep, I looked down and knew exactly. I was like, oh, I'm muted. No. Hey, Tanya. Hey, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining me here. Kanisha, hello everyone. I hope y'all are having a terrific Tuesday. It's raining here in Tampa. Stay hydrated, sis. Listen, I feel like Tampa, Florida, Orlando, rain. You know, when is it not raining? That's where we need to go to say. Every time I go to Florida, I at least get 2 days of rain. Now, this last trip to Florida, man, it rained just about every day, which is very common during hurricane season and everything. But it was fun. It was a fun trip. I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you, Kanisha. Miss Queen L. Hey, girl, haven't seen you in a minute, or have I? Not sure. So, y'all, what have I been up to? First and foremost, if you have not already checked out the live. Hello, everyone. Hello, Lorraine. Hey, Lorraine. If you haven't already, make sure y'all check the live out that we did Sunday. Whether you are married, whether you are single and searching, not searching, it confirms a lot of things. It affirms a lot of things. That subject, how do I know when I found the one, and what does that look like? We didn't just stick on that subject. You never do. We went on to talk about other things. So make sure you check that out. Because it was a great discussion. I got nothing but positive feedback. I came downstairs immediately and my husband was like, oh, that was amazing. I got several phone calls. That was awesome. So make sure you check out the replay for that video. I know some of you said you haven't watched it for whatever reason. Make sure you go back and check it out. But the good news is, guess what, y'all? The husbands are coming next. So here's what I'm going to do. Y'all going to have to give me a second, because either I'm having a hot flash or I need to turn my air conditioner down. So hold on. If you're liking my channel, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Right now, do it. Right now, do it. See, that was fast. So, okay. But check it out. I got nothing but compliments on that video. We vibed. You know, one person called and was like, you know, it was like y'all were girlfriends catching up, girl talk. It was amazing. So again, if you haven't already checked that out, check it out. But the good news is the husbands are coming. I got to lock in a date. It will be very soon, but we want to get their perspective. It's one thing for us as women to say, how did we know that that person was the one, our spouses was the one? But I think it's very important to hear from the men, because we don't always get the man's perspective because we already have an idea of life, liberty, what we want marriage to be like and everything. So let's find out from the men. So be looking out for that. Lorraine says, hello, everyone. Miss Queen says, it's been a while. Oh, no, it's okay. I'm always here. Make sure you catch up. April Lee. Hey, April. Good to see you as well. Hey, everybody. So, yeah. What was I up to? So I took a break on Monday because of the live on Sunday. So that was a nice little chill break. And then today is Tuesday. And it's been a minute. You guys we've been teeter-tottering on Kevin Samuels and, you know, his conversation and what he's talking about or whatever. And I've been peeking in and out on a lot of his lives. And one thing that he asked a question last week. So we're going into the topic. He asked a question a couple of days ago, and I thought it was a very interesting question. I thought that his delivery was not as crass as it normally is, and I think he had some solid points. So I wanted to bring it to you guys so that we can have the conversation and so that you can see, number one, from a male's perspective. Because again, you know, the thing with Kevin Samuels is you got to chew the meat and spit out the bones. His delivery can be, and I'm telling you, the last couple of videos that I've been watching of his, he hasn't been as abrasive, but he's to the point and he's honest and it's his perspective. One thing that I don't like to do, especially on this channel, is to generalize. So everything that we're saying obviously can go for one person and not go for another. But generally speaking, I think there's some fundamental truths about human development and human interaction and sexuality and marriage and interacting and stuff like that. So he posed a question, and I thought it would be a very good question to ask you ladies, especially those of you that are single looking, because you have a lot of people. I think both sides are complaining. The pool is terrible. There's not a lot of people out here that's available, that's of quality. What does a quality relationship look like? What does a quality man look like? I'm having a hard time finding somebody. And he posed a question. So before I pose the question, let's talk about his idea of this modern woman earning a certain wage, you know, not necessarily as traditional, that whole thing. So again, when you even talk about that, that can go both ways. His question. Kevin Samuels wanted to know, do modern women, single women, as far as dating and interacting with men, do you want to be feared or do you want to be loved? So I'll because it took me a while because he didn't explain it right away, but just on that question, leave the answer in the comment section and then we'll dissect on what he said, how he said it. And I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. But the question is, let me do a banner. No, not that one, but you can subscribe and like as you're waiting. Do women want to be feared or loved? I thought that was a very interesting question. Okay, so I don't see any comments, so I will wait for you guys to give me an answer. What do you want to be feared or do you want to be loved? And then we'll break this down. I thought it was a great question, and the way he broke it down, I thought it was excellent. And I know you see Kevin Samuels and some of you run for the hills, but I'm telling you, this particular video was actually excellent. And he has some great points. And some points were very much generalizations and stuff. But let me know, do you want to be feared by a man or do you want to be loved? So, yeah, let me put the banner. Royalty Queen says, I like that question. Royalty, I thought it was a great question. And once I break it down, you're going to think it's an even better question. You're going to be like, So Royalty says, so the question is, do you want to be feared or loved by men? So a lot of times I started off this live talking about the fact that we as women, we know our perspective and we have moments to sit down and yeah, girl. And oftentimes in society, what happens if we women are in a social setting or even a work setting, and we're talking about whatever it is that we're talking about with dating. The minute the man enters the room, enters the chat, it's, you don't know what you're talking about, but that don't apply to, that type of thing. Many people don't value the man's perspective. And whether Kevin Samuels speaks for all men, obviously he doesn't. But at the end of the day, he does speak to a fraction of man that you are trying to pull. So it behooves you to at least listen, take the meat and spit out the bones of what he's saying, because it's Kevin Samuels today, but it's Derek Jackson another day, and it's so-and-so another day, and your pastor another day, and your marriage counselor the other day. So to just miss conversation because you think that person doesn't have value because of their delivery, or because you just don't like them, you don't find them to be formidable, just be careful with that. And so we're going to break down this question after we see Tanya. Loved, men are fear. Oh, Tanya, thank you. Tanya said love, but men are fearing women. Okay, so let's get into it. So y'all are like, okay, so what are you talking about? And there is this persona that even Kevin Samuels talks about. Like, y'all, I fear that the modern woman, that women today that are in the pool of men, looking for love, you guys are getting mixed messages. And you're self-sabotaging yourselves, because again, I go back to the live that we did on Sunday. There was a couple of truths that was there, and it was consistent, even though all of our stories were the same. I'm not the same. Even though all of our stories were different, there was a consistency that was there. The men knew what they want, and they led with what they want, and they went and got what they want. The message is nowadays is, you're going to be this boss bitch. You're going to be this boss babe. And, you know, Kevin Samuels like to say it's the influx of the feminist movement. You know, we can blame it on the feminist movement, which, again, there's some good things that happen there. Women have come a long way. But here's the question. Drop a shoe down below. Are we the extreme now? Because he brought up so many good points, and I don't know if I'll be able to unpack it because it was such a rich video. But the bottom line is, case in point, he says, you know, women are so empowered that men are fearful, because society now is women. So he made up a good point. He said, listen, I want to say, gosh, I don't want to say the rapper, but I think it was a male rapper got in trouble years ago for talking about sex, drugging women, He said nowadays, Cardi B is literally telling you what she has actually done to people. You could look at T.I.'s situation. You could look at these female rappers who are like, oh, I know what it is, because he started the video out because Megan Thee Stallion had a quote talking about how men fears her, and fears her private parts, and fears everything about her because she gives them a hard time, basically, in a nutshell. I don't have the quote, but pretty much he was breaking down that quote, and he was like, you know, but do you want men to fear you? Because again, like he said, you are so empowered that now it's to your detriment. Because now, think about it. There was a time where men, you could have a boss and you can be called in his office, and, you know, you could be, of course, bad things happen. Y'all, we're not talking about that. But now nobody wants to be left alone with a woman, and not with somebody with some smart parts. And that could be wise. I mean, that is wise. Don't get me wrong. But generally speaking, you understand what I'm saying. And so the question is, while you're around here wanting to be the bad boss and bad B and B, and I'm on top and all this other stuff, no man wants no part of that. No man wants no part of that. Now, does that mean that you can't go on to get your degrees and all this other stuff and be empowered? But what fraction of womanhood is being empowered to the detriment of relationships nowadays? Let's talk about it. Leave a comment below. So Miss Queen E says, Tanya, exactly. So Tanya said, men are fearing women. They are. Exactly. Back at you. So leave a comment down below. Let's discuss, you know, this idea, because I know in the core of women, whether you like other women or men or whatever, you want to be loved. I know that that's the message, but unfortunately, when you look at the Instagram stories, it's take. You're a bad bee if you could take, this, and you are this and that and all this other stuff. But the fact of the matter is that's not a loving relationship. But that's not the messaging that you guys hear. To be on top, you have to basically tell this man, I don't need you. And so how did we lose that balance? Because when you look at the video from Sunday, what I heard was there was 4 of us, 4 women talking about our relationships, talking about dating and where it came to dating. But it was a lot of communication. I was about to say communing, that too, but it was a lot of communication. And it wasn't, I'm a bad bee and this is what I want and this is what you're going to do. And if you don't have all this, then you ain't whatever. But then you turn around and say, but I want to be loved. Ladies, there has to be a sense of empowerment as a woman. Absolutely. I'm not saying go back to the 50s and don't have your rights and don't exercise your rights. But when you're talking about interacting with a man for the purpose of marriage and love, most men, I'm not going to say all men, most relationships need that power, a balance of power. And what Kevin Samuels was saying, and I agree 100%, there's no balance. With the Me Too movement, like he said, it's men don't even want to approach you. Because the minute a man says, hey, ladies, smile today, or does anything soft, what do, and I've seen it in the comment section. Y'all call men punks, they're weak, they're this, they're that, all this other stuff because he's a nice guy. Y'all call him a simp. Is he really a simp, or are you really so empowered that it's killing you and it's killing your dating? Now, does that mean that you should take abuse from a man? And absolutely, that's not what we're talking about. But think about your messaging on Instagram. Think about your messaging on Facebook. Think about your messaging everywhere. It's take. And if he fits in some kind of way, then he's the one. No man's putting up with that. Well, I'm not going to say no man's putting up with that. Most men are not putting up with that, especially a man of value. And that's what if we want to talk about what Kevin Samuels really promotes, the high value man and different things like that. And again, he did speak about that. So, and he brought up a good point. He said, the problem is these women that speak this way. So you're gonna look at a Beyonce, you're gonna look at a this one or that one, all this hear me roar woman. He said, but they're going home to their husbands. Not only are they going home to their husbands, they're going home to their millions in the bank. So they can have that type of power and or leverage. And here you are, your dating pool. You can't come like that. Because the truth of the matter is all this messaging that you're getting, these women aren't really living that way. That's his point. So are you being sold as singles a false message? Because when you look at Hollywood, when you look at a Beyonce, when she's really with Jay-Z, you can see the submissiveness. You can see you can feel the submissiveness from a Sierra with Russell. And those are 2 powerhouses. But I guarantee you, she said it before. She knows when to yield, and not yield in a sense of I'm a weaker person or whatever, but you got to understand men. Some men, not gonna say all men, because they all are not the same. But generally speaking, a man wants to provide, he wants to protect, and all of that can happen even if you earn 6 figures. It's a mindset, because you can be an ordinary worker. You could be a worker that earns $50,000 a year. But if you have that big energy, Instagram model, Facebook model energy, what are you really telling a man? That's what I want to discuss. Do you want to be actually feared by a man? Can a man take you out and realize this woman, like, I want to lead and I want to approach her? Do you have so many things on your list that if a man even approaches you without these XYZ things, you're going to shoo him away and all this other stuff? That's what he was saying. That's what he was saying. And I know in the core of who we are as women, as single women, you know, especially women, single mothers and everything, you want to be loved. But please make sure that you're not approaching the dating scene with Instagram model, rapper model mindset. Because really, then why do you want a man? You just want a man to pay your bills. That's what you're saying. Because if you did, you'd want the actual interaction. You wouldn't mind having him come up to you and hold the door. Like some women have actual attitudes because the man is holding the door. Well, do you want to be loved or do you want to be feared? He just tells you, hey, beautiful, you're beautiful when you smile. And I have been that single person that has definitely said, I don't feel like smiling, you know, but it's from a man's perspective. That is a turnoff. Basically, that's what he's saying. It's a turnoff. Doesn't mean that they're saying be weak, go back to the 50s, don't have a voice, you know, put up with anything. No, that's not what he's saying. Be approachable is what he's saying. Be approachable. Are you approachable? If you're in the dating pool and you got that Instagram model mindset, are you really approachable? Can somebody even approach you to get your name? Or you automatically, like, you've got this super duper wall up, but yet you want to be loved. But yet you have invisible claws around you, like, don't even approach me or whatever, unless you have all this Instagram checkoff stuff that's not realistic. So let's see what Tanya says. My son mentions all the time he is oh, poor thing. My son mentions all the time he is afraid to speak to some young ladies he follows, Kevin Samuels, all the time. I'm telling you, y'all, I know a lot of you thought, okay, Melissa, go listen to Kevin Samuels. You're going to, you know, drag him or whatever. I'm not going to lie to y'all. His approach and all of that, I could see past all that. I know the root of what he's trying to say. It may be an age thing. I don't know. But I understand some of what he's saying from what I see, and especially with this question. You know, I can see why men are afraid of women nowadays. I'm a whole heterosexual woman who is married and everything else, and I am completely intimidated by the thought of, like Tanya said, and even my son, he finally found something, not finally, but he has someone in his life. But the things that he would tell me about women, that the pool of women and meeting people and all of that and what they would say. And I'm like, but that's not realistic. And the truth of the matter is, whether this is a high value man, a low value, like even Kevin Samuels made a great point, like even in the work setting, men should not be afraid of you. You're that harsh, that abrasive, that whatever, that a man is actually afraid of you. Some of you are wearing that as a badge, but what you fail to realize, that's the aura that you're giving out. That's your spirit that you're giving out. And so you're wondering why you're single. That may be a reason why. Because you're angry, or because you got this empowerment 2.0. Absolutely be an empowered woman. Absolutely. Because my husband will tell you, I'm not a Millie Mouse, you know, quiet person or whatever. But when it was time for him to meet me, I became vulnerable in the sense of we communicated. You got to let the guys in, but also let them in without the abrasiveness. You know, again, maybe one of you can drop or search the Megan Thee Stallion. It was Megan he was talking about. He based his live just talking about Megan and this quote, and she just took it as pride. Like, I make men intimidated and this and that and the other and all this other stuff. But then you know that, and then you turn around and say, I want to be loved. What kind of man can approach that? And then you guys have these beautiful, cute quotes that are not true. A real man this and a real man that. And the truth of the matter is, yes, I could say, you know what, I'm a lot. And my husband could come on here and say, yes, she's a lot. Like, my mouth, whatever. We both can be a lot. But the truth of the matter is, what is that really saying? Because the truth of the matter is, let's just pretend this isn't true, but let's just say my a lot is the fact that I just go off all the time. Like I go to 0 to 100 in most situations. Some of you brag about that. But truth of the matter is, especially when you're talking about relationships, that's really not healthy. That's not conducive to a healthy relationship. So when we look at these memes, a real man better handle me because I talk a lot and da 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 da. Yeah, all that's true. All that's true. But what the meme should say is he's handling you as you grow through talking a lot or snapping. That's not necessarily talking a lot because but snapping off or whatever. Again, that's just an example. And a lot of times you miss the message because of the messenger. But I'm telling you, there's some meat in what Kevin Samuels is saying, because those of us that are married, watch the last video. If you have not, now's a good time for me to plug that video. If you have not already watched that video from Sunday, a lot of what I'm talking about now kind of stems from the conversation on Sunday. A lot of women, there's a lot of single women in America, in the world. And I really don't know the stats if marriages are going up, if more people are getting married, more people aren't. But there has to be some credence given to the fact that especially Black women, especially women that are catering to or accepting this Instagram thought of what a man should be, what a man should do, what womanhood looks like, and it's not reality. Beyonce that we see, the honest to God truth, they will tell you. Listen to entertainers when they're giving interviews about how they really are at home. Listen to entertainers when they talk about when the stage and the makeup goes off and everything else, and they become Mrs. Carter or Mrs. So-and-so. Half these people are going home to husbands and they're telling you to forget a man or whatever. And they're going home to husbands. How? Why? Don't shoot yourself in the foot. Now, here's the thing. I'm not telling you to change who you are or, in order to be married, you got to be this quiet lady, because y'all know that is not me. Like, I'm not a doormat or anything like that. But ladies, you have to be approachable. And some of you are not approachable because the Instagram thought is, girl, forget him. He's scared of me. Well, it goes back to my original question. Do women want to be feared or loved? Even in a work setting, I don't want my boss or anybody to be afraid of me. I want to be approachable at work. I don't want to be, don't even deal with her. Don't even, because what I am concerned about is that you will find yourself single and lonely or in a cubicle working by yourself because nobody want to deal with you, because that's your banner that you wave. That's your banner that you wave. Tanya said, Beyonce said, marriage is hard work, especially with Jay-Z. I'm trying to tell you. And she's right. And so make sure you go and watch that video, because the panel was absolutely amazing. We didn't sugarcoat anything. Very transparent. And like I said, the husbands are coming within the next couple of weeks to piggyback and give their perspective on the conversation. And that's why, again, to be fair, I understand that Kevin Samuels can be a complete turnoff for some people with his delivery. I find it's just entertaining. It is what it is. And I think some of it stems from his frustration because some of the callers, I'm not gonna lie, be like, okay, is she listening to what she's saying? And the bottom line is, I think that there's a mixed message. There's a mixed message happening. You're going to be this independent woman, step on men, kick them out. We only need them for sex and money and to fund this beautiful wedding. And after that, I'm going to be a boss bee, and I'm a bee, and I'm a this and that, whatever. And you just drag this man along. No man, this is my point. No man of any value, let alone high value, is going to put up with that. Kevin says women will be alone with, girl, I didn't even read that comment and I just said the same thing. And again, I find it's the truth, y'all. It's the truth. That doesn't mean that all marriages are going to work out. Those of us on the panel, we got all the answers, and so we're giving it to you. No, we're just telling you, hey, this was our experience. And I know those ladies personally, and I'm telling you, they're not, screw a man, she woman haters, she man hater man club. No, it's not going to work. And I know it's hard to hear from him, because he does clown women. I mean, I had to do some research before you guys said, hey, check out Kevin, let's talk about it. And I was like, hey, they sending me over here to this Kevin. I like what Kevin is saying. I agree with what he's saying. Do I agree with everything that he says? No. Do I agree with him calling women names and this and that? No. But I think that there's some truth to some of what he's saying, and this is one thing, and we can unpack other things at a later date, but I thought it was important because it definitely goes along with what we talked about, finding the right one, finding the right person. But listen, the person can't even approach you if you've got this mindset. He is absolutely right. And I'm talking about a man of value, because here's the thing. If you find a man of value, and Kevin Samuels has his own definition of what a high value man is, as far as his earnings or whatever. Again, I'm not going to speak to that because I haven't studied that, and I'm not like one of his gurus. So I'm not going to speak to that. I'm just going to talk about value in general. A man with esteem, a man that has something going for himself, a man that knows his value, a man that knows what he brings to the table, but also a man that knows what he deserves. He's not going to yield to this fantasy of dragging him along instead of you going along together. Because that's what I don't hear in the rap songs. That's what I don't see from the Instagram models when they're like, oh, he flued me out and I left and all this other stuff. Or, from the music and all this other stuff, when these people actually turn around and go home to their wives. It should be a teamwork. And again, if you watched our video, that was another common theme that we all had in our marriage. And these are like Joanne's been married for 36 years. Okay. And we got 10 years under that. And Tanya, I forgot how many years Tanya said. And then Kiara, 15 years. So these are marriages that are like freaking Stone Age nowadays. Because after 5, 7, 10 years, people are dipping out. Because it takes work, but it also takes communication and working together. And you cannot say that you're solidly trying to work together with someone if you feel like you are empowered over them. And that goes for man or female, male or female. If you're a man watching this live and you're like, you fell into the opposite, where you feel like you're empowered over a female, and that's just as wrong also, but that's not what this video is about. So I wanted to bring this conversation to you guys to just really have a good conversation surrounding answering the question that Kevin Samuels posed, which really was, let me see if I can find it. Do women want to be feared or loved? Comment down below. Let me know. Let's talk about it. Do women want to be feared or loved? If you're liking my channel, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Right now, do it. Right now, do it. Shout out to Facebook, shout out to Twitch, shout out to YouTube. Make sure that you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share this video, and make sure you come back and make sure you leave a comment. Let's interact. So Miss Queen says, I've been married 20 years in October. Yes, it takes work and communication. It takes work and communication. And y'all, the truth of the matter is, I like to think of marriage and successful marriages as a dance. So, and that's why this idea of this boss bee and this empowered to a fault woman, and I'm in charge, and hear me roar, forget you, man, and except I want you, it's a tango. Because there's some times where if you've been married long enough, The truth of the matter is, what the memes don't tell you is there's times where I'm leading because he don't have it. He don't see it, and he just don't have it for whatever reason. And then there's times he flipped me around and he's leading. And then sometimes we don't and go together. But then you understand? It takes two to tango. And it takes two to make this marriage or a quality marriage. I'm not talking. Now, here's the thing. If you want to go with the thoughts that's happening here, like Kevin Samuel said, go right ahead. But I'm talking about a marriage of quality, not a Hollywood marriage, not a Facebook meme marriage of this made up, thoughtful man that you think how a man should be or how marriage should be and how a woman should be. Maybe the next live, and maybe we'll talk about this. What does women empowerment mean when you're in a relationship? What does that really look like? Because you might be kicking yourself in the foot because some of you aren't even married yet. And it doesn't mean that you got to fake it or be a certain person. But y'all, in order to tangle, you got to yield. In order to be in a dance competition, let's think about ballroom dancing. In order for him to spin her around, there has to be a certain level of vulnerability as well as her to let go. Or not, if so, the judges are going to tell you were too stiff. I can tell when he lifted you up, that made you uncomfortable. So think about dating as a marriage, as a dance. You're dancing. And the worst part about it is, if you're trying to dance with someone and they don't even know you yet, and you giving off a certain vibe, one of y'all gonna get hurt. Because that lift's not gonna work right. Somebody's gonna step on somebody's toes or whatever. So Kevin Samuels, there's some truth. I'm telling you, there's some truth to what he's saying. There's some truth to what I'm saying. And look in the chat. Go back and watch the video from Sunday. You want to be married. I'm telling you, I'm going to end up with a dating service because you women are going to start thinking about it and really doing some self-reflection. You don't have to tell me I was right. Tell yourself I was right and then work on it. Because, and this will be a whole nother video. I'm not even going to go down this road, but that's the beauty of femininity. And we got to learn not the right and wrong, but how to use the femininity effectively. And to her point, Megan Thee Stallion may be absolutely right. Men are afraid of her. She's this, she's powerful. All that may be true. I think the Me Too movement can be unbalanced in some ways, but it's been very, very powerful and very, very useful and effective in others. Oh, let's see. Let's read the comments as you guys are coming in. This contact right here, if you see me blinking and looking weird, this contact is dry. If you wear contacts, you already know what I'm talking about. But anyway, yes, Kevin Samuels wants to know, do you really want to be loved? And to be loved. So maybe after we break this down, we'll talk about, okay, so what do you mean? Because we know what feared is. And he broke down some very, very good points why men are fearing you. They're fearing you because you are putting that out. Like you want to be feared. I'm a boss, and because here's the thing, I'm not, the boss bee and all this stuff. It's one thing to say that you're that in a corporate setting, or you're a worker or a career lady or whatever. That's not how y'all are using it. That's not how y'all using it. Y'all are like, you ain't gonna tell me what to do, and I'm my own woman and all this other stuff, but love me. I want to be vulnerable. But then when he comes, step back. You don't tell me what to do. You don't do the do, boop, boo, do, do, however the rap went. You guys are being sent mixed signals. Because the truth of the matter is, these women that are rapping this, these women that are doing this are either single. They have enough money to call all those shots that they're calling. And I think he said the average single woman in America, Black woman in America, makes $50,000 to $56,000 a year. So you can't live on your own. and call all these shots and stuff. That's what he was saying. So be careful of the messaging that's out there, because you really could could self-sabotage yourself, because it's not reality. It's not reality for a long standing marriage of quality. It's not reality for a relationship to be approached in a relationship. And I hear you. I'm gonna get to that point. Some of you might be saying, well, that's a weak man. He's a weak man. He should be able to take a strong woman. This isn't about a strong woman. And this isn't about being a weak man, because the truth of the matter is some things are just a turnoff for men, period. And it has nothing to do with them wanting you to be, it's attitude, y'all. It's not, this Millie Mouse woman. I'm gonna tell you, I play sometime with my husband, and I have this very weak woman voice that I use, and I play with him or whatever. And he hates it. It's a whiny woman voice. I have a whiny woman voice, and he hates it because I know he hates that. So it's not a thing where my husband wants me weak. It's not that. It's not that he wants me to be approachable. So yeah, those of you that are like, a strong man with blah, 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 blah. My husband is very strong, but no man wants to have a little chihuahua at his, well, most men, I'm not going to say no, but no man wants just a chihuahua wife just nipping at his heels all day and night. But Boss B on internet told you, give him all of it. Let him know. Let him know. Well, let me know how that's working out for you. Hello. Sorry I'm late. Had to vote. Good, bless. Vote. Yeah, so make sure you catch the replay. It's no problem. No problem at all. So if you are just now joining in on either of my streaming platforms, make sure that you hit the like button. Make sure that you subscribe, share the video. If you share it with your single friends, talk about it, come back, because I feel like, there's going to be so much more. And if you have not already, make sure you check out the video that we did. It was a panel of us on Sunday, and we talked about marriage and love. And it was a bunch of girlfriends together. It was 4 of us. And I'm not going to give it away. Go catch it. But at the end of that, understand that the husbands are coming to give their perspective. I'm super excited about that. I got off live, and Mr. B gave me a whole round of applause. And he was like, wow, I wish I was there to give my perspective. And I went to go thank the ladies for joining my live and everything. And I said, Mr. B, ready for the men to come on. And Kiara's husband, she said, wow, so funny. My husband just said he wished he was there. So I love the fact that if you watched it, I know that it appears that we talked beforehand. We did not. Not it appears. It doesn't appear. The chemistry. You would think that we talked beforehand. You would think that we all knew each other. They all don't know each other, but I know them. And it's just when it's a God thing, and when it's a chemistry thing, and when I picked those women because I knew that they would be transparent. I knew that they would tell y'all the truth, and they wouldn't just say something because, oh, that's Melissa, that's her platform, and this is what she want me to say. Absolutely not. So go back. If you have not watched it, I promise you it's going to be a good time. Rewatch it, and catch up so that you can get on this video on, and there'll be more. So Tanya, just think there was no social media out when we got married. Exactly. There was no social media. There's and so what's happening is you have, like Titus 2 says, the old teach the young. But we're fighting against the internet. If you have daughters 25 and younger, you've raised them through the internet phase. You've raised them through them looking at women that aren't very modest, and shorts are in. And yes, we wore what we wore, but we had sense enough to not wear it around our elders, or to wear it appropriate. These girls, you can tell that there's a lack of guidance in America, and that's black, white, or whatever. But I can only speak for me because I have the daughters that I have, so I can only speak for my daughters. But it was a time trying to fight the internet. Like, I don't care who's wearing a crop top. I don't care. You're not wearing that to school. We're not buying that. So absolutely. We're it's a tango. It's a tango because, and I can see where the mixed messages are coming in, because you have women of stature, women of a certain age who dated pre-internet, pre-dating apps, pre all of this. And now they're getting the messages from us, but they're also getting the messages from Instagram, the Instagram models, and this, and that, and the other. I talked about this in the last video, and I thought it was disgusting. There's this TikTok, or I saw it on Instagram Reels. And you know how they have the voiceovers and everything. And so the girl, if you watch it, it usually shows you this view of the wedding ring. And it's something, and it says something to the effect of, he could have proposed with a ring pop, but he didn't. And then she turns it around and she shows this rock, and she's singing something like, I broke his bank account or whatever. And that just frustrates me every time I see it. Because again, it places a certain value on a material thing to value your marriage. And all of us who were on that live, we all understood, I don't care how big of a rock you have. I don't care how much is in a bank account and all this other stuff. Yes, all that helps. The money does. The ring doesn't help during hard times or whatever. But during hard times, what matters is your ability to communicate and to work through it and remember why we started this journey together. So yeah, very good comment. I know, Miss Queen, like Queen Esther, exactly. You know, and I'm not going to stop talking about it, and I'm going to continue to talk about it. And I can't wait to hear about people, their testimonies, and how they really internalized a lot of what Kevin Samuels, in my interpretation of what he's saying or what I'm saying or whatever. You know, he brought up a good point about women, you know, just not wanting to smile, you know. And again, I told you, I remember my angry phase. I'm not smiling. But the truth of the matter is, let's be honest. Like, if you want to be approached by a guy, don't you want to be like smiling? Don't you want to be approachable? Don't you want him to look and be, and don't you want him to look and be pleased at what he's looking at enough to go up to you? Or in the back of his head, she's frowning, she's this, she ain't gonna do nothing but cuss me out and tell me to get out her way. You guys really think, some women really think a strong man would look past that and go to me. That's, y'all are on TV. That's fantasy. That's some Tyler Perry stuff. Fix your face. No. Okay, maybe 2% of the guys will do it. He taking a risk. Personally, I want to feel protected. When I don't feel protected, I become hard as nails. That's what happened in my last marriage. And that is, I think, you know, even I can only speak from the Bible's perspective, but I think every faith has an idea of what marriage is and what a man's role is, even society. And no matter if you're coming from the Bible or not, but I do know that the Bible speaks about, you know, being a protector and loving your wives and loving your husbands. And part of human development, they will tell you men are protectors. They should be. So again, we talked about this on Sunday. How do I know he's the one? If he's not protecting you and he's like, oh, girl, let's, you know, you got to go to nursing school on Tuesday. And he's like, oh, girl, skip and stay with me and let's do da-da-da-da. Well, to you, to someone who's not aware, to you, that's cute. Oh, he want me to skip college and stay home with him, and he want us to do this all day. Really? No. A mature man, a man who's trying to protect you and your assets and your grade and your money, will say, babe, you're not going? I'll be here when you get back, or I'm going to go to work and I'll see you when you get back. He protects you. He's not going to hurt you. Well, he will. I'm not going to lie. All men, all women, we hurt each other. So that part's a lie. And we talked about that. So go watch the video. Mrs. Queen L. Exactly, Melissa. Exactly. I'm so glad that you decided to join in the conversation, Queen, because it's been a minute, but you jumped right on in. Love it. Awesome chemistry. Loved it. Yes. And again, you can go back and watch it. I know you were in the chat, Blessed, and kudos to you for being brave enough, or however the word is, to ask me to do this topic. I found an email. Let me take this off the screen. I found an email. I don't know. This person emailed me in August, but they put it in my spam folder, so I didn't see it. But there's another topic that somebody wants to talk about that we will hit on. But they want to talk about step parenting and when people don't like each other and have attitudes and stuff, all this other stuff. So if you're on this live or you're catching the replay, hopefully you didn't get mad and run away. But if you did, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to talk about it because I like the subject. But right now, the hot topic on these YouTube streets in America and everything else is love, marriage, and dating. And so that's where we're parking until we don't park no more. So yeah, the men are coming. You can't lead folks who don't want to be led. We all learned that from dealing with you know who. I help those who want to be helped. Absolutely. Child, please. Our first wedding ring was from a pawn shop. Then we upgraded later. I learned the marriage was more important. Come on, Queen. I'm telling you, on that live, I didn't go get it. I left it. But preparing for my live on Sunday, I was going to show them my first wedding ring. And I can't remember the last person that I told, because ours came from a pawn shop as well. That was very common back then. You must have got married in the 90s, early 90s, because you did, because you said 20 years. So I said that to somebody and they thought that was the weirdest thing. Again, ages and stages. What's going on? You know, back then we built together, and the marriage was what was more important. And I didn't text my husband like, oh, like the TikTok. Now again, I'm not hating on somebody that out the back can get a $10,000 ring. Not hating at all. If that's what he can do. It's the attitude. 2001, yeah. It's the attitude, because if your sole purpose for marriage is to have this elaborate wedding so that you can TikTok it and Facebook it and all this other stuff, or to break the man's pocket and you can't eat later, my husband and I always say, we've said this from years ago, no matter what decision that we make, we still want to eat after. So that's where we come from. Like, that's not a good idea because I want to eat. So for him to go to the pawn shop nowadays, again, do you want to be feared or do you want to be loved? To us, I didn't think of that as a dig on my husband. That's where we were at. But again, we didn't have social media. We didn't have any of that. Some people got married. And as a matter of fact, if the truth be told, at our actual ceremony, my husband left our rings. So we got married with my brother's rings. That's a whole nother story. But that would have, nowadays, let that happen to someone nowadays. Y'all would just fly off the handles. If the person, he don't love me, he left the rings. I don't know what happened to the rings. My son was carrying them. I don't know, but it didn't matter. But the thing is, this was me at the altar. Give the rings. And I looked down and I was like, because I what you see in my face is what I'm thinking comes on my face. So he gives the rings and I'm like, and then he was like, the rings, we didn't get married with our actual rings. And we ended up getting them. But the truth of the matter is that does not matter, because you can have this big old rock. You can have all this stuff, this grandiose wedding, and have zero connection, zero chemistry, zero faith, zero vision for the future or anything. So the question then remains, while you're trying to, exactly. Coach Central says the important part was that they got married. That was the important part. Exactly. And he says facts right there, talking about so again, if you're thinking about marriage and dating and being approachable and everything, you could miss the one because of some Instagram thought that he has to have. What is it? The wedding, the ring has to be 3 times his paycheck. Child, please. We would have been married for a long time. The wedding would have been on hold for a long time. So, that's not that. Again, y'all got to watch Sunday. But today, I really, really wanted to delve into Kevin Samuel's question, because I think I know some of you want me to drag him, but I'm sorry. I can't. He's absolutely right. I'm a straight female and I'm scared of some of y'all. And not even from a sexual type of way. Y'all are empowered. And if you didn't get married and grow up in that era, we look like old maids. We look like, and I think life goes in stages. There was a stage where everybody was a stay-at-home mom, and that was the hear me roar thing. And then there was a stage, I'm a career woman, Now I think it's just this bad B, and all that's great, because you can walk in and like, I can have all the confidence in the world and everything else. But my leading question is, do you want to be loved or feared? Because now it's not even a thing of you're the confident woman walking in the room. It's not even about that no more. Y'all don't even want to be the confident woman walking in the room. Y'all want to be Cruella de Vil, but yet, or the Devil Wears Prada, but then you want this dude to approach you. Who in these movies approach these women? I'll wait. Nobody. That's what these memes and stuff are putting out. That is the mindset of, what Kevin Samuels calls this modern women. What the hell are y'all so angry about? Oh, because the modern man is done. These men are playing games. Absolutely. I understand. But you still got to remain approachable again, y'all got to watch. You guys have to watch the video, because I don't want to give it away, because I was going to give part of the video away just now. Because we talked about where we were mentally, spiritually, and everything when we got people in our lives, when our husbands found us. And that has a lot to do with, do you want someone to be afraid of you, or do you want to be loved? And again, I know that a lot of you sent me to Kevin Samuels because you thought I'd drag him or whatever. Absolutely, he's crass. Absolutely. Some of those women shouldn't even call in, though. Like, they shouldn't even call in to him. But he's telling the truth, y'all. He's telling the truth as far as this is concerned. I think so. LOL. Attitude like Janet Jackson on. Ooh, Lord. Poetic justice. Come on. You got some of them probably don't even know what we're talking about. Queen says 2001. Okay. I meant when I felt uneasy around others who would disrespect me, he wouldn't check them. As a matter of fact, he would join in and say later that they were joking. He knew my triggers. And so, yes, we talked about this before, Bless. No, that doesn't go down. Again, I'm talking about a man that values you, that values your relationship, that there's no way, especially in a setting where there's other men dragging you. Yes, he should have protected you. He should have whatever, unless they're, and again, you said, we talked about this before. I don't want to get too much into it, but I can understand where that could be problematic for sure. He should protect you. He should. But the flip side of that is, as much as my husband is my protector, he's my checker too, and that's on facts, and we check each other. So again, it's a give and take. It's a tango. And sometimes it's a swan dive. And then sometimes you plaster together on the pavement, but you're doing it together, not he's bossing me and I'm bossing him and and he got to do this, or else he want me and all this other stuff. Not no high value man, not no man of value is going to put up with that. Not any I know. No, not going to happen. Not a man of any value that I know. He's not, absolutely not. It's going to be teamwork, some sense of teamwork, some sense of communication, some sense of this woman being approachable. So it goes back to my original question. Make sure that you exude, I want to be loved, whatever that looks like. So maybe we could talk about that on the next live. So again, yes, the important part was that they got married. Absolutely. Girl, yes, queen. It wasn't even our wedding rings. To this day, we talk about it every now and then. And I don't even remember what he said. I think they left it back in the room or whatever. I don't know. But again, I just wanted to be married. But do you understand, queen, if that was today? Because that will ruin their Instagram moment. That will ruin their pictures. They can't do this photo and they can't do that because it's so-and-so's rings and not my own. And guys, just make sure that you're not getting wrapped up into these memes, because they're not necessarily always reality. Especially, and go back and watch the live, especially the live from Sunday, especially the ones that are like, a real man would do da 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 da. A real man won't hurt you. A real man, that's BS. So go watch the live. Hey, Lakeisha. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. I shouted you out the other day because I was going to have you on that live talking with us, but because I remember you said you were married for a grip. Over 20 years, if I remember correctly. But good to see you. Loved. Good. You loved it. Good, good, good. Girl, yes. Yes, queen. Yes. So, it sounds like we can come to the conclusion that we all want to be loved for the most part. And I'll talk about this as far as what does that look like? Okay, I'm a woman that wants to be loved versus feared. What does a feared woman looks like? What does that really, what does that transition from this angry, truly unapproachable? I'm not talking about the stereotypes of an angry Black woman or whatever, because this can go for white women, anybody on my platform. The truth of the matter is the messaging that's out there for women is, I mean, even when you think about, and Kevin made sense, he said this, and I'm not going to quote him, but even when he talked about this hot girl summer, make sure this hot girl summer don't lead you to a freaking single woman winter at 50. I thought that was funny when he said that, because it's true, but that's the thing. And I love the fact that he said it, like your window of a pool for men and all of that. Go ahead and it's the mixed messaging, y'all, is what I'm trying to say. Y'all will sit up there at some people, I'm not gonna say y'all, some people will sit up there and advertise that they're having a hot girl summer and they this and that and all this other stuff, and screw you and how they say, catching flights instead of feelings and all this other stuff, and then we'll turn right around and say, ain't no good men out here. Y'all, it does not work that way. It doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. Even from a spiritual sense, even from a what you put out in the atmosphere comes back to you. The law of reciprocity. Like, even from that aspect, you're putting out, I'm single, satisfied, hoeing, doing what I'm doing. And then at the evening, you're going to post a meme when you come back from the trip talking about ain't no good men out there, saved and unsatisfied and all this other stuff. Come on, y'all. You got to watch where you're at. Pay attention to the season that you're at and what you're putting out. Memes are supposed to be lighthearted jokes, not guidelines for life. Listen, bless these people. Listen, some people, unfortunately, use memes as a guide for life. When they find it, they share it because it's, and I like positive quotes and stuff like that, but I understand, reality and this idea of a real man being this or boss B being that. And it puts a lot of pressure to perform and be a certain type of way. That's not reality. So again, it's the pressure. So if you're listening to Megan Thee Stallion, for an example, in that quote, maybe I'll try to find it. But if you're listening to a Megan Thee Stallion, if you're listening to the IG models and all this other stuff, that's not reality. And it really isn't your reality, especially if you don't have the money to do all this stuff. And if you do have the money to do all this stuff and your goal really is to have a man fear you, how is he going to love you? How is he going to love you if he fears you? If you're liking my channel, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Right now, do it. Right now, do it. So yeah, if your goal is to have this man fear you, because that's what the quote that he quoted from Meg Thee Stallion, and it's true. He made up a good point. He was like, man, I forgot the rapper that he said, but we could think of a lot of entertainers. Bill Cosby, he's in trouble for all of this stuff and allegedly drugging and allegedly doing all this other stuff. But you have these same women who are on these rap songs saying what Cardi B bragged about, how she drugged and stole from men and all this other stuff. But we're not going after her. We're not going after her. So what he said was, it's a double standard. The men are like, I can't deal with these modern women. Okay. My daughter's driving, and she's at practice, but before practice, she was going to get air in her tires and fill up. And I was like, you know how to put air in your tire? And she was like, yeah. She said, all I have to, I pull up and I say, can you check the tire? Can you check I didn't know she knew how to do that. Okay. And I said, okay, sis, go off. I didn't know she knew how to get air in the tire. But again, she's got a high value daddy. So yeah, she got good men around her. So she sees what they do. So anyway, yes, I know memes are supposed to be lighthearted and jokes and guidelines and not guidelines for life, but I'm not so sure the modern single and married, because I can talk about that, because those are some memes out there where your husband's supposed to do this and he should do this and he this and that and the other, and I'm this and that and I'm a boss bee and all this other stuff. Sit your boss bee butt down somewhere. Sit your boss behind down. As much as of a boss that I know I am, and I boss and kill on YouTube and boss and kill in my house and all this other stuff, I know when I need to tango and yield and say, okay, babe, what do you think? We do this together. It could be the same thing with him, but he could be the boss man, but he can't come here telling me, well, you got to do this, because I'm a boss bee. I'm a man. It's the same thing, y'all, because that makes him unapproachable. That makes me unapproachable. And really, so basically you have a bunch of people hooking up, having sex, not getting married, and that's what they're getting out of life. I don't know. Yes, Tanya's agreeing, right? She was watching and learning. Yes, she was. I was very impressed, but I looked down and she just texted me and she was like, yeah, all I do is ask for them to fill up or whatever. So I was like, oh, okay, little girl, you got it. Because I'm not going to lie. I mean, I do a lot of stuff around the house, but one thing I don't do is worry about washing the car, doing the tires and all of that. My husband is very anal about his the upkeep of cars. I love that. We have very nice cars that he keeps clean and make sure tires, and I mean, he's got a whole routine. Like, he don't play about that. I never have. Even when our kids were younger, you would not catch food and all of that just collecting in the car. Nope, not happening. I think at one point he was like, I would not have to, but I would get like, I'm on to something else, y'all. I would get like clear sodas or something. So if it spilled, the people that he had to wash the car, it wouldn't be so bad or whatever. So yeah, he's a pretty boy, but definitely a pretty boy about his car. So anyway, y'all saw the commercial. If you're just tuning in, those of you that are interacting, I love it. If you're catching the replay, make sure you leave a comment. I'll comment and answer you or whatever. But that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the question that was posed by Kevin Samuels. He posed it to his idea of a modern woman. And I wanted to bring it to my channel and just kind of give my opinion about it and hear what you guys have to say about it. And hopefully those of you that are watching and listening of a certain demographic, a younger generation, single, you really, really take these lessons, including from the video from last Sunday. You know, yes, I'm pitching my video, but more importantly, there's some nuggets in there. And it's not just from me, like it was from everybody. All three women gave a really good perspective, and it was consistent. And like I always say, we can dog Kevin for some of the things that he says, his delivery, all this other stuff. But the truth of the matter is there some substance to what he's saying? And I think in this instance, absolutely. Bless says, in my opinion, the boss bee is a very fearful woman. Anybody who declares that they don't need anybody is a fearful and hurt individual. Wow. Do I want to open this can of worms, or do I want to make this another video? But you are absolutely right. You hit the nail on the head. I'm very leery, and for lack of a better term, I feel sorry for women that really are like, I don't need a man, or I don't need anybody. It's one thing to say you don't need a man, but the type of people that say I don't need anyone, that is weird. That is dangerous. That is insightful. Because if you've been living long enough, we need each other as humans. Now, I don't need all humans, and I don't need to be close to all humans, but we need each other as humans. Absolutely. And it's usually coming from a place of hurt. It's coming from a place of pain. And like you said, it is fearful, because even when they usually say it, they're very bitter about it. Like, I don't need a man, da, da, da. Like, sis, you've been scorned. Because no matter how much hurt and pain that I've ever experienced, I know that there are good men and women in the world. Good is still in the world. Good people are still in the world. Even we don't always see it, even though, you know, the news may say something else, there are good people in the world, and there's a lot of good people in the world. Some are usually abused or came from abusive environments. Some of them are abused. Some of them just were cheated on. So, I mean, it don't take much for some women to just be angry. Some women are angry that they aren't married. And then they become, forget it. I don't need nobody. So become bitter or whatever. And that's not going to help. That's not being bitter against men or whatever your preference is. That's not going to be helpful to attract someone. That's not putting out that you want to be loved. That's saying, fear me, leave me alone, or whatever. But then you guys have your messaging that's saying, hey, you're a boss bee, this, that. Oh, I don't even want to get back into that. So, yeah. Yep. Some are usually abused. Yep. So let's play this commercial one more time. Well, I'll show this. Do women want to be feared or loved? I think humans in general start off wanting to be loved. I think even a video of this guy that goes around and he gives homeless people different things. And I remember seeing a video of someone that he normally sees every week. And she told him, she was like, hey, I'm pregnant. And he said, well, what can I do for you? You know, that's what he always asks. What can I do for you? You guys might have seen it on Facebook. And she was like, man, I want a pair of shoes. And instead of buying her one pair of shoes, he bought her 3 pairs of shoes. And then she disclosed how she just found out she was pregnant. And the fact that he gave her the shoes meant so much. Like, it melted her, in other words. So in the previous videos that you may have seen, she's homeless and it's like, whatever. So my point is, even the people in the most lowest state, or what we consider the most lowest state, I think everybody wants to be loved. They want to belong. They want to feel love. So if someone gets to the point where it's fear me, that's a wall within itself. That's a wall within itself. If you're liking my channel, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell right now. Do it. Okay, y'all. So, thank you guys for having this conversation. Most of you have confirmed exactly what I thought you guys would say, because we kind of smart women over here, men and women over here. Again, make sure that if you're catching the replay, leave a comment. I'll comment back. I will be back live on on Friday, but there will be videos dropped between today and Thursday. So yeah, just be looking out. And like I said, my next live video will be Thursday. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. And y'all already know what I say. Don't just subscribe, but actually leave a comment. Become interactive with the channel. I love the interaction. I have a comment. A lot of folks don't know what real love looks like or how it feels. So when it shows up right in front of their faces, they can't recognize it. That's absolutely true. And I'm going to write that down. Y'all know I have my book full of let me scratch off woke community, because we talked about the woke community. So if you were waiting on the conversation about the woke community, I think that was Friday. So if you are here and you're like, oh, I got to catch up, you have the rest of this evening to finish watching this video. You have Sunday's video. You have last Friday's video. You have a lot of videos that you can catch up on my lives. And like I said, in the meantime, I will see you guys. Thank you for the wonderful conversation, interaction. Please, 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 take the nuggets of what we're saying. If you are someone that you may come off a certain way, you really want to be loved, you want to be, the answer to the question for you is, I want to be loved, and you are loved. And if you're just saying from a marriage perspective, then yeah, let's work on that. And that seems to be what the next set of conversations are going to be talking about, and I want to talk about what that looks like, and again, watch the previous video, see where we were in our heads, in our hearts, when our husbands came along in our lives. Thank you, Tanya. So on that note, I'll see you guys on Friday. Thank you once again for just being awesome subscribers. And again, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And if you think someone can benefit from the content on this channel, share. Okay, you guys are talking to each other. So anyway, I'll see you guys Friday.